Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host. I am joined this week by
BC
and
BB.
Our keyboard player this afternoon is
Dylan.
Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good out there. We are actually in Columbia, Maryland today. We are getting up and gearing up and drinking up to go to the first night of M3. And tonight there is Count 77 playing, Doro, Lizzie Borden, some band called Fireworks that's only going to play 20 minutes, and then Kix is going to wrap up the night. So hope everybody's doing good out there, and BC, BB, good to see you guys again. Haven't seen you in a week or so. What's happening, BC?
Well, we're here. We're getting ready for M3, baby. Special night for me. Lizzie Borden will be here tonight. Doro, and after that, we just go drink.
How about you, BB?
Well, we have to congratulate Grandpa.
That's right.
yes.
That's right.
We didn't congratulate Grandpa
right.
BC. He's a proud grandpa of a lovely, healthy baby girl. So, good job, BC. I'm surprised they didn't name her Lizzie.
I tried,
But she is named after King Diamond now.
They're King Diamond, Abigail.
Okay.
Hey, if you can't go Lizzie Borden, go
Yeah.
King Diamond.
Go King Diamond.
Right?
And also a Motionless in White song.
Okay, I got there.
See, we didn't know that one.
I didn't know.
We didn't know that one. No, congratulations, BC. That's awesome. Happy for you guys. And never in a million years would I have thought that would ever fucking happen. But it's awesome, though. I'm glad everybody's doing good and everybody's healthy and be coming home soon. So that's awesome. Actually, they'll be home by the time you guys hear this. So last week, Dylan and I, we did a Rush episode with Mark Anthony Kaye. And what do you think about that, Dylan?
It was a lot of fun. These were really interesting albums to cover because, like I said, they're bookended by tragedy of Neil's daughter and wife passing away and then Neil passing away at the end. But the three albums that we talked about and the live album were really good, really solid, especially Clockwork Angels. I think we all agreed that that was a stellar last album for Rush to have. So, I mean, and Mark knows his stuff. He is on the ball and just can list it off the top of his head. So it's always great having him on to talk about Rush.
Yeah, Mark, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. And BC, I know you and BB, you guys had things come up at the last minute, so you guys were ready to record the episode, but just were unable to. What did you think about all those albums?
I mean, I enjoy Rush. I mean, I enjoy live Rush a little bit better. When it comes to, I think somebody was talking about that one time, who do you like live? The albums are so-so. I'm probably going to say Rush for me. But enjoyable albums. Just, I mean, I'm a live Rush guy.
We think BB.
Yeah, definitely. Rush is better live. The live album was really, really good. And a couple of those later albums I was not really familiar with because I checked out of Rush a while ago. You know, I was more of the heavier stuff from the 80s and that. And after, like maybe even Moving Pictures. Maybe after that I was sporadic with checking out Rush because they were just never really in my wheelhouse until I got a little bit older and started listening to them again. And then they once again they just kind of get rotated back in the shuffle, and then coming up to this episode, I'm like, man, I haven't listened to these two albums in years. But yeah, there's definitely some good stuff on there that's definitely like super super deep for Rush.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was surprised because honestly, and I said on the episode, like I knew Vapor Trails because that was really when I got heavily into Rush and started going back. Yeah, I was a hits guy back and forth and stuff, but like, and really Clockwork Angels and what's the other one?
It is Snakes and Arrows.
Oh, Snakes and Arrows. Yeah, sorry. Their albums I just did not listen to all the way. I knew the songs. BC I talked about when we did a game time decision. Hey, let's go see Rush tonight. We went down and our share of friends got us in, and then Hoover got us moved up further. So, and it was, and I remember the songs that they did from Snakes and Arrows from that show but the rest of the album, I was like, I didn't really know anything, and I was surprised, really. And the only, I'll just backtrack for a second. The only ones from Clockwork Angels that I knew was, again, ones when Dylan and I saw that show and saw them live. But just listening to the rest of those albums, the heaviness of Rush in that period was crazy. It was like, holy shit! Like you would not think, if you played some of them songs and had someone else singing besides Geddy Lee, you would have never guessed that the band was Rush. Mm-hmm. Some of them they're so heavy,
but in a very different way than a band that we're going to be talking about later tonight. It's a way that you could see it evolving into it.
Yeah, and there's only one way you can pinpoint which band this is.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's always good. It's always good having Mark on. It was good to hear from him again, and we'll get into we'll do a Project Gemini episode coming up too when he's going to do when the vinyl actually comes out. I know he just did a pre-order on that, so because I know BB and I know we're all fans of that stuff, so we will definitely get Mark on for that, and we'll go through the album with him. And Dylan, you have a little bit of news too. Not that it really, it's the ridiculousness of it that we've talked about a million times, but go ahead.
Yes, we could cue the graduation music, and we could also, speaking of graduation, talk about how my mom and your wife is graduating from college as well. So that's another great thing to announce. So congratulations, Mom. I know you're listening to this right now.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of class of 2022, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced their inductees for this year's class. So the inductees ended up being Pat Benatar, Duran Duran, Eminem, the Eurythmics, Dolly Parton, even though she said that she's fine with not getting, inducted, Lionel Richie, Carly Simon, Harry Belafonte, Elizabeth Cotton, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis. Most importantly for our podcast, Judas Priest, they finally got in. Jimmy Ovine, he's a very big producer back in the day. And Sylvia Robinson. So that is the class of 2022 for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. At least we got a couple bands that we like.
There's actually a couple rock bands in there this time, which isn't bad. There are a couple, once again, that I have no idea who the hell they are. And I do want to say congratulations to my wife for getting her bachelor's degree in, I think it's business administration. And she worked really hard, and she's summa cum laude. So we are going to be headed to Ohio next week so she could get her diploma walking across the stage, which is going to be awesome. And we actually will be meeting the Poonies for dinner that evening as well. So we'll be seeing Sonny and Nicole out there. I'm just really looking forward to seeing Nicole. I've seen Sonny enough on the Monsters Rock and the Kiss Cruise this year, so looking forward to that. And congratulations to my wife once again. Love you. Awesome job. And as far as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame goes, it is what it is. I don't think they're allowing Priest to play. I don't think. I don't know. I seem to have heard or read that somewhere. But if they did, I would hope that KK Downing would play with them. And I kind of hope that he wouldn't, because I would hate to see him with them and then, okay, goodbye. You know what I mean? It seems kind of weird. It would be cool to see them play together, but
it might just
be odd.
It might just be like Kiss, where they're there.
Here's a thank you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
And then go.
Yeah. But I'm glad that he's inducted as well. Is Richie Faulkner inducted?
No, that's
I
a
don't
good
think
question.
so.
I think it's probably
the.
No, I think it's the original.
They announced it. Be it Priest, as we know it, KK Downing, Les Binks.
Les Binks. Scott Travis.
No. Oh, it's Scott Travis.
Yeah, he's in it.
He's the one in now. But,
Dave Holland.
Dave Holland, yes. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm surprised that they're
no Richie.
They're gonna put Dave Holland in there.
He was on those classic albums.
Yeah, but
I know the circumstances with him. I understand that, but they're apparently looking at it musically. And like every other person like that, he went to the grave saying he didn't do whatever. Or I'll look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. But it is cool that an actual influential metal band is finally in.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, so it looks like it's Halford, Ian Hill, Glenn Tipton, Scott Travis, Les Binks, Dave Holland, and KK Downing are being inducted.
Okay, That's fair. That's fair. I could see them negative on Richie Faulkner. He's only been there for two albums. I think he was there for Angel Retribution, for Redeemer of Souls and Firepower. So I mean, I could see that. I could definitely see that. But
even though Firepower is one of their best albums.
No, I know that. I know that. But it's cool to see them in, even though I don't give a rat's ass. And trust me, I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't voted in. So you know what I mean? It's like whatever.
Right.
So
yeah. Rage did not make it in.
No.
Nope.
Well, that makes me happy a little bit.
There you go.
Eminem took their spot.
Yeah. No, I would go for Rage before I would go for Eminem for sure. All right. So before we get rocking into it here. What have you been listening to? BB, how about you? What have you been listening to?
Last weekend we had to take a ride out to Old State College and took some of my older son Colin's stuff home from school because he's actually coming home this weekend. And down and back, my wife actually made me listen to the new Ghost album because she is still pushing the Ghost on me.
So good.
It's really growing on me. It's funny how I don't know why. I just thought these guys were a lot heavier because I never really checked them out.
Look like they're heavier.
They look like they're like
they're just they're like
cookie monsters in costumes.
Yeah.
But I'm really surprised.
Well, especially like the first track is like a hair metal
Yeah.
track of sorts.
And then it's different all the way through the album. I think it gets heavier on the back side of the album. There's some good stuff on it, and it really surprised me. So I just think she's just, it's like force feeding me Ghost. I'm actually enjoying them. So I've been listening to Ghost.
That's kind of shocking.
You know.
I think that's probably gonna be end of the year list for me.
Yeah. BC, what's Rain making you listen to?
No, I've been surfing a lot, and then unplannedly started listening to John Petrucci, Andy, guitar player for Danger, the original guitar player. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Anyways, Joe Satriani. It was kind of like a guitar player as Block. Some interesting stuff. I think I was messaging you during it.
You were, yeah.
Andy Timmons.
Jesus Christ. I'll go next. For me, I binged some Iron Maiden last week. I skipped the Diano albums. I went from Number of the Beast all the way up to No Prayer for the Dying. I skipped over Seventh Son because I had definitely had enough of that album after doing the episode on the R4 podcast. I needed a break from that album. Check that out. And I mentioned this album, I think it came out in January or February, the Annihilator Metal 2 album. Oh my god, that album just absolutely freaking rips. Time changes, solo, just like pure metal, fantastic. And the new Crash Diet album finally came out. I've been looking forward to that, and it's called Automation. Real good. That one could make my list at the end of the year. What do you got, Dylan?
What I've been listening to, it's out of format, but it is kind of relevant to an episode that we recently just did. A band that I really like, AWOL Nation, who you might know from songs like Not Your Fault or Sail, that cat video of the cat jumping the sail. But they released a covers album called My Echo, My Shadow, My Covers, and Me. And some of the songs that they covered, Beds Are Burning, Take a Chance on Me from ABBA, Maniac, Dad, Just a Friend.
Stop covering that song, people, please.
The first time I've ever heard somebody cover Just a Friend, so that was interesting. Material Girl, Wind of Change. It's a little Scorpions action.
Really?
But yeah, it's kind of a really cool little album that from a band that I'm on and off with, but I've really enjoyed it.
All right, that's what we got going. BC's rocking to some shredders lately. John Petrucci, Joe Satriani, Andy Timmons. BB's got some Ghost Impera going, which I really like that album too. I really do. Dylan's got some AWOL Nation, My Echo, My something
My
cover
Shadow,
album.
My Covers, and Me.
There you go. That one. Some interesting titles and some not so interesting titles, I think. And for me, I got some Maiden, some Annihilator, and some Crash Diet going. And we are doing the return. I think the last one we did, we were going to Rockin' Pod, I think so. I think we recorded it at Rockin' Pod, and we kind of did a redo of how we did that episode. We listened to the albums on the way down to Rockin' Pod 3, I think it was, where all three of us were able to go. 3 or 2 or 3, one of them. Anyways, the last one we did Faster Pussycat. We did
Van Halen.
Van Halen. We did Faster Pussycat Whipped. We did Van Halen Diver Down. We did
Styx, Kilroy was
Styx,
here.
Kilroy was here. And there was one more.
I can't remember the fourth one.
It'll come to us because Dylan's gonna look it up while I'm talking. Damn it! So we listened to these albums actually today. We got done listening to them maybe about an hour and a half ago, and I wish that I didn't have them in the order on the playlist that I did for driving because it is absolutely miserable, pissing down rain here all day. So the last album that was on the playlist was a snoozer, and it was kind of tough to get through at the end of it. We were kind of all like, I was afraid for BB. I was afraid he was going to fall asleep while he was driving. That's how, not good it was.
Okay, so the first one we did was at Rocket Pod 2, and that was Van Halen, Styx, Faster Pussycat, and Megadeth Risk. However, the more recent one that we did was Twisted Sister, Love is for Suckers, Motley Crue, Generation Swine, Aerosmith, Just Push Play, and Ozzy Undercover.
Oh, okay. There were a couple brutal ones there. I knew we did another one, and I knew one of them was at Rockin' Pod.
It's interesting that the one that it comes to our mind is the first one and not the second one.
Yeah.
Because the second one had Brandon.
She's your mom. She's your mom. Oh, fucking brutal. She loved you. Jesus Christ.
Stick to the drum.
So what we did today is we did our scientific method as usual. We picked out a BC's The Clam hat. We didn't want to do BC's BLS hat today, so BB, you're up first. So we're actually going alphabetical order today, if you look at it, right?
I'll think about it while you talk.
We got BB, BC.
Okay,
Dylan,
by names. Okay,
Steve.
okay. I thought you were talking like, I'm like by artist, by album.
Even last names were doing the same.
Well, I mean that's not hard to do last names.
I'm just saying. BB's
Alrighty. So the shittiest album out of the catalog I picked was from the band Poison. We really don't talk a lot about Poison here on the podcast, so I figured this would be a good little band to pull out of the closet, dust the old cobwebs off of it, and throw it in there. So the album is called Crack a Smile and More, but we're really just going to call it Crack a Smile because there's some demos on there, there's some live stuff on there that I figured that we just cut off because it's a little bit too long. So this is Poison's Crack a Smile. It's actually their fifth studio album. It was released March 14th in the year 2000. They released 2 singles from this album, Shut Up, Make Love, and Be the One. And the actual people who play on this album are, of course, Bret Michaels is the lead vocalist. Ricky Rocket is on drums. Bobby Dahl is on bass. And Blues Saraceno is on the lead guitar. And man, he's pretty good. He's a pretty good guitar player. The album opens up with a song called Best Thing You Ever Had. It starts off with a little acoustic guitar, a little rattlesnake rattle in there, a harmonica. Really a different song for an opening Poison song on an album. The chorus is kind of catchy, but as an opener, it just didn't really grab me. I didn't think it worked for the album or even in their catalog. Song number 2 is Shut Up and Make Love. There's kind of like a rap start to this song, and then it turns almost like country and western spoken word kind of. It's really weird, but it has like a country rock feeling guitar sound to it. There are really cool guitar work in this whole song. The solo's really, really good, and there's more goofy country spoken word at the end of this song. Song number 3, Baby Gets Around a Bit. This was a little toe tapper. Finally, a song that kind of reminds me of the old Poison in parts, but there are some parts that just sound like it's the vocals aren't the greatest. There's a clarinet in there. There's a heavy chugging short solo, which is really, really cool, but it's so cool I think the solo doesn't even fit the song. Song number 4, the cover of Dr. Hook in the Medicine Show cover of the Rolling Stone. And it's funny that we talked about the Ozzy's cover song and we thought that the Mississippi Queen was the worst cover of all. I think this song is a close second. I think it's just a really bad song for these guys to pick and to cover. It just didn't work for me. Song number 5, Be the One. It has like it starts off with like a whiny, bluesy guitar, power ballad. It's almost like the 2000 version of throwing a dart at a dartboard and hopefully hitting every rose has a thorn. But once again, it was just meh for me. Didn't really care for it. Song number 6, Mr. Smiley. This song is kind of cool. It has like a bluesy feel to it. There's filled with some really cool guitar riffs. Thank God for the guitar in these first 6 songs, because I think if CC was playing on this, I really don't think this album would have worked at all. I'm really, really digging blues guitar playing. I think he's the MVP of this album so far. Song number 7, Sexual Thing. This is someone that has a little sprinkle of Old Poison in it as well, with some heavier guitar riffs. The drums are really, really cool and out front in this song. Really, really loud. BC's favorite megaphone spoken word in this song. I don't know why they throw that in there. It's just another song that's okay for me. Song number 8, Lay Your Body Down. This is the second ballad of the album. Just the piano and Brett's vocals started off. There's very limited kick in about the 1 minute mark. The band's vocals and the harmonies of Poison in this song are really, really good. More kind of a bluesy guitar sound behind the piano. It wasn't that bad. It stepped up a little bit towards the end. There was a little rocking guitar piano outro, which kind of made the song have a little bit of meaning, a little bit of better listen to it. Song number 9, No Ring, No Gets. This is kind of a rocking, goofy toe tapper. It has some funny sexual lyrics to it. Once again, I think the band harmonies from Poison on this song are really, really cool. Song number 10, That's the Way I Like It. Another like distorted, weird bass start to this sound. More sexual lyrics, kind of weird. The song is very, very short, so I don't know if it's somewhat of a filler song. Song number 11, Tragically Unhip. Somewhat closer to an older Poison song that you want to hear from this album. Blues guitar work is great on this song again. And song number 11 to close out the album, Doing It As Seen on TV, which is pretty much the story is him and his girl Brett's, I guess, and his girlfriend get a porno movie, and they kind of copy what's on that, but it's more sprinkled with sexual lyrics. It kind of has like a country feel to me, and just another song that these sexual lyrics are just kind of weird. I don't know what they're really trying to get at in the year 2000. But that's my album. Hopefully all you guys hated it. So, Dylan, what'd you think?
Listening to this album, I'm not like the world's biggest Poison fan. I've seen them live back in, I think, 2011 was when I saw them. They were playing with Cheap Trick and Def Leppard. So that was, I believe they were the second band, because it was Cheap Trick opening and then Poison. And they just seemed kind of like they were going through the motions. So I haven't really delved deep into Poison's catalog. I know the popular stuff, and occasionally some of the other stuff sprinkled in that I heard, my dad playing every now and then. So I had not listened to this album before. I don't think it's horrible. There's some stuff that I'm not a fan of. Like, there's a lot of countrified stuff on this album that kind of throws me out a little bit. I don't like when Bret Michaels puts a twang to his voice because it sounds so fake and just forced. I like the sleaze Poison, like look what the cat dragged in kind of stuff, and some of that comes in here. Like No Ring No Gets and Tragically Unhip, I think, are probably my two top songs, because they have that old school Poison feel. They feel a little more like the Poison that I know and like. But I will be honest, even though I just said that I don't like the country version of Poison, I kind of like the cover of the Rolling Stone. I don't know. I think it's just because I like the song, so I just like singing along to it. I don't know. There's just something about it that makes me like it. But it's an okay album, and I'm going to be a broken record this episode because the thing that brings me back to this album is the guitar work. The guitar playing on it is phenomenal. The solos, Blue rips it, and honestly, I think that's going to be a common theme for me, at least, with all the albums that we're going to be talking about tonight. Sure. Or that, like, if I'm not digging anything about the album, the guitar is usually the thing that brings me in. Gotcha. So it's okay. It's a lesser tier album for sure. There's nothing that jumps out and, as an earworm or something that they'll stick with me. Be the One is very much just a typical ballad. Yeah. It doesn't feel like anything except maybe a tiny bit faster version of Every Rose Has Its Thorn. So it's okay.
Gotcha. All right, BC.
Oh my God, Poison. This is a weird time frame. I mean, once CC left the band, they had Richie Kotzen come in. Some things happened. He was gone, and they brought blues in. It was just like shuffling of guitar players. My personal opinion, I mean, Poison's not the breaker into all musically band. Right. They're just a party band, and you bring these great guitarists in, and they're really good guitar players, and coming in, and I think they're up here, and Poison is over here. Yeah. Nothing against Poison, but it's just Poison's that kind of band, you know what I mean? And this album is...
It's like Mick Mars and Motley Crue. He's just so much better than the rest of the band.
he covered them for years and years. But this album is just very mediocre, I think. I mean, not mediocre, but Bret Michaels is... You can see where he's trying to be... I'm Bret Michaels, and, he wanted to leave Poison behind, in my opinion. And he started doing all the solo shit, and he does to this very day.
Rock of Love.
He did all the shows and all this bullshit, but I mean, there's moments of Poison, and then there's great guitar playing. It's just it doesn't gel together. I think. I mean, the guitar player is great. It's great, and then the rest of the lyrics are like some of them are it's year 2000. It's not 1980s. You're still singing about sex in the back of a car or whatever it may be. I don't know, just.
In the old man's Porsche.
But, there's nothing that stands out to me in this whole album, really.
Right. Gotcha. All right, Righty, bring it home.
Okay, and it's funny because when we were sitting down at the table discussing this episode a couple months ago, and everyone, because I kind of keep running bands of what we've picked and other bands that would be possible bands to pick for this type episode. BB said, I'm going to pick Poison. And I'm like, I hope he picks Crack a Smile. I fucking hope he does. Because this is literally my second favorite Poison album.
Yes!
What's your first favorite?
Flesh and Blood.
Okay.
I like this album. I really do. Best Thing You Ever Had, cool acoustic start. I like it because I think it's different especially when this came out. It was like so different because what year was this? 2000.
Yeah.
So
we recorded it in 94, 95, but
because you were like grungy stuff, and now you're in the industrial stuff, and this comes out, and I'm like, this was different for what was out in that came out in 2000, and even 1994 was different from what was out then because that was when you were right in the heyday of the grunge stuff. So.
Shout out the Devil 98.
Oh, good God. We're only on the first floor, so jumping out the window is really not going to do much for me. Best Thing You Ever Had, good acoustic start. I like the organ sound in it. It's very cool. The harmonica solo, very cool. Guitar solo is great in it. Simple and short, fun start. Shut Up, Make Love, drop the bass, drop the bass, drop the bass.
I think there's days he just makes this shit up. I really do. Talking about acoustic, and now he's rapping. Come on.
Where the fuck's
He's a rapping. He's a shit stirrer.
There's some kind of cool effects in it. The pre-chorus is cool. There's a lot going on in this song. There's the production is crazy on this song. There's a weird rap at the end. That's kind of the only part I don't like on that, Baby. Okay. Baby gets around, good groove to it. Cool feel to it. It gets heavier for the soul. The soul is friggin' fantastic. Another fun song for me. Cover the Rolling Stone. I hate this fucking song. All right, I just fucking hate this song.
Yeah, of course.
But
One of the one things that I say.
But as far as this goes, it's a good version of the song. I like when Brett does the deep voice in this song. There's a part where he does like a deeper voice in it, and I think it's very cool. Be the one. It's got an ominous start for a Poison song. It goes into a mid-tempo type ballad thing. Not too bad. It gets heavier for the choruses. Trust me, there are worse ballads that Poison has than fucking this one. Mr. Smiley, back to fun Poison. It's got some funky stuff going on there. The bass is way out front of this one. There's like a creeping type riff in it that is very cool. The solo's friggin' ripped. Blue Sorrentino brings some cool stuff to this band. I like his feel in this one. Sexual thing, laughing starts, real like winding guitar. The kick in is friggin' fantastic. Upper mid tempo song. Chorus is fantastic. This is the stuff that I come to Poison for. Like fun. Just fucking love this one. Lay Your Body Down. Tender Ballad Time, BB. I know you love them. I know you do. Brett's got the heartfelt vocals going. It's not a bad ballad. It's not. The solo is very melodic. This is a song I would let play. I wouldn't skip it. No Ring, No Gets. This is the one that I really like the feel of Blue Sorrentino in this song that he brings to the table here. Gives it such a groove that you didn't get that with CC. And I can't say about Richie Kotzen because I'm not really familiar with that album too much. Like Stand, I hate Stand, so I kind of checked out of that album. But I will have to check that album out. Fantastic solo in this one. That's the way I like it. Heavy Poison, unusual for Poison for the heaviness of the song. It's a good song. It goes the melodic solo. Then he friggin' shreds at the end of it. Tragedy Unhip. Another fun song. He talks about the Kiss poster on the wall as well. Come on, people. Solos, ripping, melodic, freaking fantastic.
Oh, sure. When Weezer's does it, he doesn't like it.
Because Weezer sucks. Doing As I See It on My TV, I fucking love this song. Hard rocker, the fast vocals, the best song of the album for me. It kicks ass. I love the chorus. Really fun. I love the spoken word in it. The solo is really short, but it's fantastic. And I love the whistling at the end. Yeah. It's just so fucking catchy. And BB, good pick for the worst.
Thank you.
I honestly, when we were literally sitting there, and I just held my tongue and I did my poker face, and I'm inside going, yes, yes, yes.
So if you like that, Native Tongue, you gotta check that out.
All right, so if I like this one, I like Native Tongue.
I think.
Okay, I'll check it out. I honestly have not listened to that album all the way through ever. I heard the song Stand, I saw the video, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Get past that.
But I will check it. I will. All right.
They have a covers album, right?
Who?
Poison.
Yeah. It's Poisoned.
Yeah, they got like Dead Flowers. They do a cover of Dead Flowers, right?
That's really good.
That is a good cover. Yeah, I remember that.
But their cover, Rock and Roll Night, has got to be one of the worst cover songs of any song ever. It is fucking brutal.
There's a lot of bad Kiss covers out there, though.
There is. All right, BC.
Shock us, buddy.
Here we go. Give us the shocker.
The shocker of the episode will be Tesla with I picked Poison Tesla. Tesla Shock. The title of the album is perfectly fitted for the album, I believe. Because once you put this album on, you will be shocked by what you hear. Now, don't take me wrong, people. I mean, it's a good album, but not an album of Tesla, in my opinion. You start off with You Won't Take Me Alive, which is very radio, very Def Leppard-ish. I mean, this album screams Def Leppard when you listen to it. I'm sorry, the song's written halfly by Phil Collins, so I can see where they get that. Track 2, Taste Like, is another Def Leppard-ish sound. Yeah, and then which Phil Collins co-wrote. Track 3 is We Can Rule the World. It's kind of like We Are the World. We can, I mean, it's just it doesn't even sound like Tesla to me. It's just vocally not Tesla. It's just the arrangements are not Tesla. It's just not Tesla. I'm sorry. Another one that was written by Brian Wheat and Phil Collins. Track 4, Shock, which is definitely a great title for the album. Again, another song, another just totally Def Leppard feel to this whole song and album. Track 5, Love is a Fire. Again, this one's written with Frank Hannon and Phil Collins. Again, another one that just gets lost in the album. Painful. And it even gets more painful to the next one. Track 6, California Summer Song, which I don't know. To me, I don't know. I was so excited because I've been a Tesla fan since the beginning. This song just kills me. I don't know. It's not Tesla. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick about this, but track 7, again, every song on this album has been co-written with Phil Collins, which it might as well be a Phil Collins solo album. Forever Loving You, another slow Leopard song. The Mission, again, another lost in the shuffle, just blah music. Track 9, Tied to the Tracks. To me, this is the closest on this album you're going to get to Tesla. At least it has some good guitar and a good rhythm and beat to it. I mean, it's the only highlight to me on this whole album. Track 10, The Afterlife. Again, we're going back into more Def Leppard covers. I Want Everything. Very blah, blah, blah. And
that's even a Def Leppard title, that song.
I Want Everything, yeah. And then they finish off with Comfort Zone, which, no offense, this is way out of Tesla's comfort zone, if you ask me. But that was Jeff Keith and Phil Collins. I mean,
Phil Collins.
Phil
Collins is not involved in this album.
He might as well be.
It might have been better.
It might have been better. It might have been better.
I would love to hear
they would
Tesla's
have a Mike
cover
Tyson
here
part in
tonight.
the album.
Troy Lucetta would have killed that.
But I love Tesla. It's nothing. It's a good album. It's just, in my opinion, it's not a Tesla album. It oversaturated with Def Leppard influence, feel, everything. Choruses, just everything is Def Leppard. I'm sorry. BB.
Are you ready? So what I did, instead of picking the songs I liked, I picked the 3 shitty songs on the album since it was the shitty. And you pretty much touched on them all. I think number 1, We Can Rule the World. I go Piano Tesla, meh. And then I go, what's even worse, you have a church choir backing this song up at the chorus, which is even worse for a Tesla song. The second one I didn't like was California Summer Song. Tesla being Def Leppard and the Beach Boys all mixed into one. There's silly little ukulele strums in there. They're just it's just a weird song. I don't even think it didn't even fit the album at all to me. And then my third worst on there was Forever Loving You. Jeff's whiny vocals, just not Tesla. It's just a flatline song for me. There's nothing to it. It's rather kind of boring. So yeah, you picked a pretty good shitty album.
Pick the shit of the shit.
Yes.
Steve.
All right, Tesla Shock. It is perfectly named. Apparently this was written and recorded when they were on the road with Def Leppard touring. I guess they would, on days they had days off and stuff, they would go in or wherever record. I guess.
I believe it.
It's, and you're right. If you're not thinking Tesla, I mean, you will. If you take Jeff Keith's vocals out of this album, you would never in a million years think Tesla ever.
Never.
You would not. You Won't Take Me Alive. One of the 2 sort of rocking songs on the album. Let the Def Leppard choruses begin. I don't mind the feel of this one. I think this might have been one of the ones that they played live because I saw them literally like a week before this album came out. Trey Lucetta took good care of me and Granza, hooked us up backstage and stuff. There's some actually good lead work on this song. It's actually not too bad of a start to this album. Tastes Like, More Def Leppard background vocals on this one. The choruses are just screaming Def Leppard. Very, very short solo on this one. Like, come on, you got Frank Cannon and Dave Root in your band. You gotta fucking tear it up. You know what I mean? And it kind of surprised me for this album too, because Phil Collin is such an excellent guitar player, and he can rip it up. Like, let these guys rip it up. That's what they're fucking known for. We Can Rule the World, painful piano ballad. It's got like some flamingo-like acoustic guitars in there for the solo. I'm like, dudes, what the fuck are you doing here? Very dramatic for Tesla, and they have a couple of dramatic songs, but this is too much. Shock, I'm like, I literally wrote down, is this a dance club, electronica time? Like, seriously, it doesn't fit. It doesn't even fit in at all. These guys are, even like in the fourth song, these guys are fucking all over the place. Love is a Fire, more mid-tempo, even lower piano, ballady. God, guys, come on. California Summer Song, I literally wrote down, how did they get talked into these fucking songs? This is pure, it's a pop song. I can't. This is not what I come to Tesla for. Come on, guys, seriously. Forever Loving You. And then I'm like, dudes, what makes you want to do, you know, I mean, this makes me want to listen to Love Song. I fucking hate Love Song. Soft, horrible trash, I wrote at the end. The Mission, another Def Leppard-like intro. They're with the intros, too, on this one.
Favorite
I'm like,
Styx album.
There's like a short solo that actually kind of rocks in this one. You do catch a little glimpse of Tesla in this one, like the last minute and a half of this song. You can get a little glimpse of our Tesla that we know and love, but not very much of it. Tied to the tracks, good electric guitar, heavy riff. Finally, a good rock song here. Heavy riff for the chorus. This is more like it. But they missed the opportunity on this song. They really could have did a freaking cool back and forth solo with Dave and Frank on there. They probably the heaviest song on the album, but they still missed the mark on it. They just missed it. Afterlife, Break Time's Over, back to the mid-tempo shit. Just not good. More piano stuff, please. I'd make it stop. And this is a 12-song album, guys. 10 songs would have been more than enough. I want everything. Like I said when BC, and again, sorry to interrupt you on that one. I want everything. That is even a Def Leppard title song. You know what I mean? And I'm like, even the songs have Def Leppard written all over it. The titles. There's a little melodic dual solo that's okay. Comfort Zone, fuzzy bass and drum start. This is not Tesla's comfort zone. Or mine. Yeah, I agree with BB. Great shitty album you picked. And I love Tesla. I do. Good. I love them. I have this on vinyl, and I pre-ordered it, and it literally, I don't even think I opened it. I think it's just on my shelf, and it'll never come out. I'll never play it. I will never, unless this comes up on, which I'm sure won't come up on this podcast, unless someone invites me on another podcast to talk about this album. I will never listen to this album ever again.
Wow.
Dylan.
Brutal.
Yeah, this is absolutely, it's the background vocals that make it sound so Def Leppard-like. Mm-hmm. You could basically cut and paste these background vocals onto any Def Leppard song, and it wouldn't sound out of place. But for me, I think the Def Leppardness of this album is not what throws me off of it. It's how eclectic the rest of the album is. Because you have stuff that sounds like Nine Inch Nails with Shock. It literally sounds like Closer from Nine Inch Nails.
You're singing that on the way down.
Like there are so many times where it feels like the band is doing something that is not in their wheelhouse, and it's another sound that they don't quite fit into. And I'm not saying that a band should always sound the same year in and year out, album to album, but it just feels like this is an album where the producer had a lot of control over it or pushed towards the momentum of it. And I don't know if the band was just like, yeah, let's do this, or if it just Phil kind of dominated the songwriting process, because he is a very integral part of Def Leppard, so it would make sense that it does sound somewhat Def Leppard-like, but it almost feels like if we're putting percentages of the mixture, out there. It feels like it's 70 to 80% Phil Collin and 30 to 20% the rest of Tesla. But there's some good moments on it. It's not like a completely terrible album. There's some, Tied to the Tracks is a pretty good track. I like the chorus of Shock. The chorus is really good. But it doesn't feel like the album is cohesive except for the Def Leppard songs. Those sound like they belong together, but then there's those poppy songs that go Beach Boys like, and there's these ballads that don't really fit in, and I don't know, it feels kind of like a dartboard album to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
throw it at the wall, see what sticks.
and we talked about it. I think BC brought it up. How does Tesla go into the studio, and then I'm sure they listened to this album before they said, "Yeah, put out." How do they say, "Yeah, this is
their eighth
Tesla.
album.
This is Tesla." It's not
7 hours before you.
It's.
Well,
I don't know how that happened.
It makes perfect sense that most of this was written during the tour with Def Leppard, because you have
they're hearing them every night.
Yeah, you have that tour mindset of, we're brothers on the road. We've been through it all together. Let's make an album together. And it's probably one of those situations where you don't have a third party looking in and saying, "Hey, this is not quite what you guys normally sound like," unless they really wanted to do something different. And if they did, they succeeded for sure.
Oh, I got it.
But it does feel like to me that it was almost like George Lucas with the prequels of Star Wars,
right.
where you didn't have that outside force saying, "Hey, maybe we should change this or do this differently."
Right.
It was just George doing his thing.
Yeah, and I do have to say, when we saw them like the week before this album came out, they played 2 songs from this album. I know they did Shock, and I know they did something else.
Probably tied to the tracks.
Either tied to the tracks or You Won't Take Me Alive. And they came off really good live. They did. So I was kind of excited for the album. Like, okay, they did these 2 songs live. It sounds cool. And then I remember I was on my Myrtle Beach golf trip when this came out, and I put it on that next Friday, and I'm like, whoa, not good.
Oh my
God.
I will say there was nothing on the album that I disliked more than I disliked MP3. And I saw that one live.
Yeah, that song sucks too. Yeah. So, all right. So there's BB doing Poison Crack a Smile, BC doing Tesla Shock, and we'll do a little Jim song here. I think I pick my. I love this band. I think these women are awesome musicians. They are just a kick-ass rocking band. Thunder Mother, got to see them on Kiss Cruise, I want to say 8. And they have a new single out. It's called Watch Out. It is absolutely rocking song. There's a video out there for it too that is really cool. I'm sure this song is going to be on the new album that's coming out either late summer, early fall. It is untitled as far as I know. So check out Watch Out from Thunder Mother.
Respect my talent and my mind, there's more than meets the eye. Back
right, we're back. Hope you guys enjoyed the new Thunder Mother song, "Watch Out." I know we listened to it on the way down today. What'd you think about it, PC?
I like it. I mean, they're a good, good solid band. I mean, I hopefully one day we'll catch them live.
BB?
Yeah, they're a good little band, and I love to get into these ladies a little bit more in more ways than one. BC, come on now.
You're married.
It was a really rocking song. I need to listen to more of Thunder Mother because they sound fantastic for sure.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and their video is really cool for it too, like kind of party atmosphere. And I'll tell you what, they're a band, like when you get done seeing them, you're like, they rocked. They move around the stage, they bang their heads, they're just fantastic, and I love the vocalist's voice. I love her voice. It's freaking awesome. So we're going to, actually, this is the first in probably 3 episodes that we've done our hidden gems. Yeah. So we're going to start with Dylan today.
Okay, BC, when I say to you, I sneak in my own house, what do you think of?
I think of a few things. I'm drawing a blank here.
Megadeth's "Wake Up Dead."
Oh, God, yeah. Anything in that tone is Megadeth.
Yeah. So Lamb of God did a cover recently of "Wake Up Dead" featuring Dave Mustaine. So that's my hidden gem, is their cover of "Wake Up Dead." Very cool. Very close to the original, since you have Dave doing co-vocals with the lead singer of Lamb of God, Randy Blythe. Is that his?
Yep.
Yeah. Is that his name? But it's a cool, awesome version. That song has some awesome instrumentals. I love the part with the very cool. So that's my jam.
All right, BB, what do you got?
All right, I'm gonna go back to this band because I used one of their songs a while back, and I love these guys, and they only have one album out. They're called Tales from the Porn.
Yeah.
And the name of the song is "Girls Just Want to Party." Because, hey, we're at M3, girls just want to party.
Girls just want to have fun.
Girls just want to party, BC. So it has that hard melodic rock to it with the catchy, background vocal chorus and the shreddingness. So it's right in my wheelhouse. But this is a really, really good album. Tales from the Porn with "Girls Want to Party."
BC, how are you? What do you got?
All right, like I said earlier.
Give us some shock us, BC. Shock us. Again.
I already shocked you enough.
No more shock.
No more shock.
I've been shockered enough today.
Shockered.
Like I said earlier in the episode, when I was listening to, I'm going back to Terminal Velocity by John Petrucci from Dream Theater. It's his second solo album. I threw it on. It came on, and I went back and I put it on. And it's just like totally, everything. This guy is such an animal. You hear about Joe Satriani, these other, guitar gods. He needs to be mentioned because, you listen to his album, it's every form of the guitar, from mellow acoustic to heavy grinding riffs and shredding. It's just I had Steve listen to the song the other day. He doubted me for a little bit until it got to the change in the tune, and then it just erupts. I can't speak how this guy is so phenomenal on the guitar. It's amazing how the playing he does.
All right. My gem this week is going to be a book from Martin Popoff, and it's called Dream Evil. It's about the Dio band. And it just deals with Dio from when he got out of Black Sabbath up until when he got the band together, and how it came about, and then it goes up until the end of Dream Evil, where Vivian Campbell is gone and Craig Goldie comes in, and he just says a little bit about what happened with Black Sabbath and stuff, and just kind of mentions on the Rainbow stuff and the Elf stuff, because he has other books that deal with that. He has a Black Sabbath series that has the period that the Dio's in there, and he has a Rainbow book that deals with the Dio Rainbow stuff. So this one just deals with the Dio band, the formation of it up until Dream Evil. And he's going to do, I think he says in the preface of the book that it's going to be like a 3-part thing. So you'll get the different chunks of Dio, which I'm really looking forward to. It was a fantastic book. It's done because he had done many interviews with Ronnie himself and with guys in the band, and actually some of the interviews were rather recent as well. So it's a really well written book. It took me literally like a day and a half to read it. It was like that interesting. I got right into it and blew right through it. It was fantastic. So there's our hidden gems for this week. Dylan's got Lamb of God, Wake Up Dead. BB's got another song from Tales of the Porn, Girls Just Want to Party. BC's got John Petrucci's album Terminal Velocity, and that song that BC had me listen to was called Glassy Eyed Zombies, and he sent it to me like, I'll check it out. So like, you know, the first part I'm like, okay, it's kind of Dream Theater like without vocals, and then I'm like, why is he having me listen to this song? And then it just explodes. It is fucking hairs it up at the end. Definitely worth the wait. So check those out. And myself, I have the Martin Popoff book Dream Evil. So we are going to get our last 2 albums done. And Dylan, you're up next.
Okay. My album is from an artist that I have a very mixed relationship with, I would say. I think he's a great guitarist, and that's all I'll say about him. The album is Shut Up and Jam by Ted Nugent, released on July 8th, 2014. Not very patriotic of him to not release it on the 4th. It is his first album since Love Grenade, that released back in 2007, so there was a 7-year gap between studio albums. Some of the personnel on the album, we got, of course, Ted himself, Uncle Ted, playing lead guitar, 6-string bass and vocals. We have Derek St. Holmes on rhythm guitar backing vocals, unfortunately only on lead vocals on one song. Greg Smith on bass. He was actually in Alice Cooper's band in Wayne's World, Dad. He played bass in Greg Smith.
Greg Smith?
Yeah.
He's in a ton of bands.
Wild Mick Brown did drums on Screaming Eagles. It was his last album with Ted Nugent. But Johnny B. Badanchek did drums for She's Gone and I Still Believe. And then Jonathan Kutz did drums for basically the rest of the songs. And then we also have the Red Rocker himself, Sammy Hagar, doing vocals on She's Gone. So we'll get into the album. And as we're going through the album, I just want to preface with a few notes. Where the one note that I want to say is, if you put a bingo card of patriotic things, of things that are American, you could probably get bingo pretty quickly within this album. And we're going to start off with the song Shut Up and Jam. And this is basically about Ted kind of being like, hey, keep your views and politics out of music and just shut up and jam. It's very hypocritical coming from Ted Nugent. And we will see that even on this album. He breaks that edict. Very good guitar work on the album, though. I will say, he name checks Free For All, which for me is a sin that you name check a better song in a thing. And also the album cover is kind of a cheap Photoshop knockoff of Free For All, where it's kind of a time lapse of him doing rocking things, but it's not a bad opener. I do hate how he says "shut up and jam, shut up and jam." If you don't know the choruses of his songs, if you don't know the names of the titles, he will say those titles 1,000,000 times on this album. So don't worry.
Or even says it before he even plays.
Yes, he goes, shut up and jam to open it. Exactly. Then there's this pick scraping at the end that's really kind of annoying to close off the song. I'm not a fan of it. And then we go to Fear Itself. Again, the chorus is super annoying because he keeps repeating, I got nothing to fear, but fear itself. And it just, like, towards the end, he just keeps repeating it. I got nothing, got nothing. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. The ending has a a long, sustained note that just goes on forever, and you're like, okay, come on, man, come on, end this off. But again, the guitar work, pretty solid. Then the third song, the best song in my opinion on the album, because we have Derek St. Holmes on vocals. Everything Matters. It's the old school bluesy Ted and Derek collab that you know and love, like Hey Baby. Very similar tone to that. It just has that rock and roll feel that you want to go to Ted Nugent for, where he does the good guitar playing. He lets Derek, who can actually fucking sing, and he just does what he does best and plays guitar. That's what I want from Ted Nugent. If the whole album was this, we would not be talking about this today, because it would be a good album. However, unfortunately, it's not. And track 4 you think would also be good, because we have an appearance from Sammy Hagar on the song She's Gone. However, it is a waste of a Sammy Hagar appearance, because he literally just sings the title 1,000,000 fucking times. and that's it. And it doesn't have any structure to it, the song, because it's just Sammy going, she's gone, 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 while Ted's ripping it up in the background, and it just feels like Ted was like, hey Sammy, are you drunk enough on tequila? Do you want to come in the studio and just sing the song, the title of the song? Cool, let's do it. It's at this point I'm very fed up. And then we get to Never Stop Believing, and my first thought is looking at the title, OK Journey, with Don't Stop Believing. This song does not feel like a Ted Nugent song. It feels like a mix between a pop punk song and an 80s pop song. I actually kind of enjoy it because it's so not a Ted Nugent song, and it just feels like so different for him. And there's this a little earnestness in it that I appreciate, that makes me feel a little more sympathetic to Ted. There's like a pause in the middle that kind of slows it down, and then there's so much going on in the back half of the song with so many singing parts going on, and there's a guitar solo happening, and you're just like, what's going on here? And then we're keeping up the theme of believing with the song I Still Believe. He really loves believing in this album. He starts off by saying, Yamaguchi, I still believe. So I'm not sure what the hell's happening. We're back to typical Ted talking about America. He's trying to show how hardcore of an American he is. Eagles flying, the flag, the troops. He wants you all to know that he is an American, capital A, underlined, bolded. It's, the last part, we get the hey hey's for Dad.
Oh yeah.
And then the last part comes off as like a clap along, sing along. I still believe in America. I would take You Can Still Rock in America a million times over this. There is a one part that's stop start guitar that's really cool. A lot of tambourine action in this one as well. So that's a lot of fun. Then we get to the song that I picked this album for to begin with. I Love My Barbecue. Some weird false starts where Ted's like, oh, something smells good. and then we got some of the worst lyrics I've ever heard in a song. I love my barbecue. It's what Americans do. Pull up a chair and I'll get a beer for you. And then he goes through the different nationalities. He's talking about the Canadians, the Africans, the Germans, the Polish people, but he doesn't call them Polish people. Calls them a different name, which is really kind of weird. This is a joke song, if ever there was one. I hope to God he's not serious about this song, because I would lose a million respect for him. We get some ZZ Top How-Hows in there, which is kind of funny. Then we get my second favorite track, Throttle Down, because there's no Ted singing in it. It is all instrumental. I'm living for that. If Ted put out an instrumental album, I would love it. Kind of a moody beginning. It's definitely a step up from I Love My Barbecue. We kind of get the unskinny bop riff with the there's a cool fast riffing part to end the song that I really enjoy. But then of course we go to Do Rags in a 45, and it immediately ruins things with stupid ass lyrics. We get another name check for a better Ted song, Dog Eat Dog, and actually the riff is a little similar to that. There's a little bit of the Dog Eat Dog riff within the song. So stop reminding me of better songs, because it's making me hate this album even more. Number 10, Screaming Eagles. At this point, I feel like Ted's run out of American-related things to sing about, so he's just going into Eagles and talking about how Eagles are coming in on neighborhoods or something. I don't fucking know. It's very repetitive. We do get Wild Nick Brown on drums, which is cool. Then we go to Semper Fi. Kind of a cool heavy riff to start, but then it's ruined by Ted saying Semper Fi a million times and yeah. And I noticed he's talking about heart attacks a lot on this album, and it's making me want to get a checkup after listening to this shit, to make sure that my heart's still ticking. We get Hey Now, Semper Fi. It's just very, very annoying. Speaking of annoying, Trample the Weak, Hurdle the Dead. If you took a shot every time you said Trample the Weak, Hurdle the Dead, you would be dead. Ted's go-to when he has nothing to sing about is when he just repeats the title of the song over and over again until lyrics actually come to him. That's my note for that album, or for that song. And then we get to the dumpster fire of an ending that is 6 minutes long. A version of Never Stop Believing with the parentheses blues. It's a bluesy ballad version of Never Stop Believing. Ted Nugent does not have the voice for this kind of slow ballad. This comes off as a song that like a cover band at a bar will play at 2 a.m. as the bar's closing. The band members are completely wasted. They don't give a shit about how they sound. They're just like, hey, let's come up with a song off the top of the head. Everybody else is passed out drunk. Let's just workshop this. That's how this song comes off. It is a fucking brutal ender for me. So that is Shut Up and Jam by Ted Nugent. He did not take his own advice. I do not like this album. I would love to hear BB's opinion on it.
All right. Uncle Ted with Shut Up and Jam. This is the only album that I was not familiar with. I kind of know the reason why now. A lot of repetitiveness, but like Dylan said at the beginning of the episode, the guitar work is great. Mark St. Holmes, that's the best song on the whole album.
Yeah, Derek St. Holmes.
Oh yeah, Derek St. Holmes.
Not Mark St. John.
I'll be all right. and I'm not really drinking.
Yeah, you
Jesus.
driving.
See, I need to start drinking. I talk better.
You gotta catch up.
Jesus. But the 3 songs that I thought were the shittiest on the album. One, definitely She's Gone with Sammy Hagar. There's points on there. I don't know who's saying She's Gone. Is it Sammy or is it Uncle Ted? But they say She's Gone 2,000 times in the whole song. So, that's kind of silly. Another one I did not like was I'm Still Believing. And I wrote down, I wonder if he still believes America now. Because now that America's a total shit show, does Uncle Ted still believe in America now? I will actually take I Love My Barbecue 1,000,000 times over I Still Believe any day. That's at least talking about him killing and grilling and hunting, what Uncle Ted is known for.
Tofu could kill you.
Tofu could kill you, exactly. I'd take that over this baloney about believing in America anytime. And Dylan, like you said it, probably the worst closer to an album ever to be written, recorded, and put last on the album is that stupid blues Never Stop Believing. The vocals are so slow for me, it doesn't even work for Uncle Ted's voice. Worst closer ever to any album ever recorded. So, good job with the shit show, Dylan.
Thank you. Big S, what do you got?
Okay. Ted, stand up and jam. Shut up and jam.
Shut up and jam.
Whatever. Ted, just shut up and jam.
Take a shit and jam.
Sometimes he should take his own advice, I think. Rocket Start, silly tongue-in-cheek vocal style, not bad. Ted rips it up. I'm here for Ted for the guitar playing. I'm 99.9% of the time, especially now, his songs, I'm like, whatever. Vocal, like, lyrically, whatever. Fear Itself, cool start. It's got like a smooth kick in. I like the feel of this one. The solos is fantastic. Everything Matters. Derek St. Holmes on vocals, very good. I like this. Kind of has a Hey Baby feel to it from back in the day. Pretty cool. I like that one. It's got a short bluesy solo. I think Derek probably plays a solo on that one as well. She's Gone with Sammy. Sammy, just come in and sing the chorus for this song for us, okay? Solo rips on this one though. And I'm okay with Sammy. They've been friends forever. They've played on multiple like jam bills and stuff like that in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. So I know they've always been friends. Never Stop Believing. Good build up. Melodic guitar before the verse. Fast paced music once it gets going. Softer Ted vocal, which I don't mind. I like the delivery of his vocal delivery on that one. I Still Believe, up tempo rocker. Really cool lead licks, heavy rock and solo section. This song fucking rocks. I think it's a great song. I Love My Barbecue. I'm just like shaking my head. What the fuck? Why? The middle part is good musically, but come on, Ted. And I wrote down Tofu might actually kill you or whatever. That's pretty funny. I don't care what anybody says. Throttle Down, fantastic instrumental. This song just like rips. I love the tone. This kind of takes me back to old Ted, like jamming in the middle of a song. I really like that. Do-Rags in a 45, okay. More up-tempo Ted. Cool vocal cadence in it though. Lyrically, I'm like, whatever. I'm into this one for the guitar playing. Screaming Eagles, they are the 101st Airborne Division. They're what the Screaming Eagles are.
Okay.
So
that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah, if you put it into that, that's what that is. Good rocker. I do like the solo rips in this one. Crankin' song. The lead fills are awesome. And the Simplify, grinding song. Cool. Hey Now when it has actually gang vocals, pretty cool. Lead fills are great. I like the vocals. I like the vocals on this one too. Trample the Weak and Hurdle the Dead. This song's nothing special. The solo's good, but song wise, whatever. Never Stop Believing. It's different. And when you said that you could picture this playing in a smoky bar at the end of the night, I think this is the other song that the Blues Brothers play besides Rawhide.
No wonder why
shit thrown at them.
Yeah, no wonder why the bottles are getting smashed on the
I
screens.
think that's what this song is.
They try playing that.
It's the
that's what the parentheses blues is.
Yeah, it's the second one. They just didn't put the brothers in there. I think this is
song.
the second Blues Brothers song that they play at the country bar, and they're throwing shit at them.
How about you, BC? What do you think?
Oh God, there's a reason I don't remember this album too good. I mean, to me, I've been with Ted Nugent from back in the day, throughout the '80s. Even the '80s albums are far above a lot of stuff. You had Caveman, Love Grenade coming in before this, and then you got this album. Musically, there's a lot of good parts musically on it, and then there's some other parts where I guess I don't know what he's thinking. When you hear Ted Nugent and Sammy Hagar mentioned in the same word, you should be like, "Ooh, this is gonna be cool."
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Not cool.
If you're in a cover band, it'd be a good song to learn because all you gotta know is she's gone.
She's
You
gone.
just keep saying it
You could
differently.
yank someone out of the audience to sing that with you.
Yeah.
Oh God, you can hold anybody up.
Just
She's
need to
gone.
say she's gone.
She's gone. But like I said, there's parts of guitar playing. Okay, it's Ted, yes. But there's other parts there because to me, I love my barbecue. Like Dylan said, hopefully he's jokingly doing that and not seriously beating this song down. Throttle Down to me is some good old Ted. And then we get to the way you close an album. And we mentioned this on the podcast many times, how certain bands, why did you put that song last? This is in the top of that category with Never Stop Believing. I'd rather pick the acoustic because it's a minute less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's things Ted Nugent should not do, and that's one of them. But overall, not a standout album in my opinion, after Caveman and Love Grenade.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know.
I love. We were listening to the album on the way here, and we eventually got to Tesla. And we're driving over a bridge, and BB goes, "Boy, I'm glad that Never Stop Believing wasn't playing while we were driving over this bridge because I would have just turned us off and drove us into the river."
I can't handle it.
Feel like one of those movies.
You know, I'm glad that Ted is still putting stuff out. I really am because I love his guitar playing, and I think that a lot of these songs, and even up till now, he just released Detroit Muscle 2 weeks ago. Well, it'll be like 3 weeks ago by the time you guys are hearing this. I like that he's still doing stuff, and God love him. I mean, he's trying. I mean, on some shit, just keep your mouth shut. Stick to, rock and stuff like that. But I like that he's putting stuff out because I love his guitar playing. I love the tone. I love the ripping up that he does. And we talked about, you could put the Tesla album on and you take Jeff Keith off there, you'd never know it was him. You put on what else we do, Poison. Maybe not so much the Poison album, but if like some stuff that we talked about, if you take off, like we talked about Rush, if you take Geddy Lee's vocals off of those albums we talked about last week, you'd be like, okay, who's this? You may catch Neil's drums, maybe, but take Ted's vocals off of this album, it's Ted Nugent. You fucking know that this is fucking Ted Nugent.
That's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for him to take his vocals off and just have an instrumental album.
There you go, Ted.
I may not like what he sings, but I like how he sings, except on the blues one. You know what I mean? I like his vocals. I really do. I like Derek St. Holmes' vocals as well, but I like Ted's vocals, but just like some of the stuff, I think it's just an excuse to have a song.
Yeah, his lyrics have gone so far downhill in recent years. You look at songs like Dog Eat Dog, where he sings the lead vocals on. I prefer that a million times over any of the stuff on this album. Just because I'm not wanting to punch him in the face. It's just I don't know. There's just something about he's just coming off as so obnoxious
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I'm an American, and I like to hunt, and I'm a man's man. I'm like, dude, you don't need to prove anything to anybody. Like, you're a good guitar player. Show how good of a guitar player you are, and, like, just shut up and jam.
I mean, that's what he knows and what he's up to. See, and he's not taking his own word. And I'm just glad he's putting stuff up. I really am.
No,
and I honestly
Muscle,
don't listen to the message or the whatever, you know, whether I agree with him or not.
I agree with you that Detroit Muscle, again, it's just like this album. The guitar work on it is phenomenal. I love his instrumental stuff. Like, he knows how to rip it up. He knows how to do a bluesy guitar solo. But, like, I can't do it.
I have learned to ignore his lyrics over the years. I really have. I'm in it for the guitar playing.
I'm gonna have to try and tune it out.
I'm able to do that easily because I'm not a huge lyric guy. If it's a band I'm really into, I will delve in. Like, you know, bands like Queensryche and you know, even Kiss. I mean, but they're, you know, nothing deep or anything like that. But like, you know, bands like Iron Maiden and, you know, stuff like that, Metallica. Like, I will delve into the lyrics. But like songs like this, I'm not into it at all for what Ted is singing about. I like how he sings. I love his guitar playing, and I'm just there for that. All right, last album time. It's my turn. I picked Dokken, and it was weird because I was like, okay, I picked Dokken. I know there's a couple ones that aren't fantastic,
like Tooth and Nail.
And I'm like, so I was gonna choose. I was not gonna choose Dysfunctional because I think that album's awesome. Shadowlife was a choice. Erase the Slate was not a choice because that album's awesome. Long Way Home was a possible choice. And Hell to Pay was my other one that I was going to go to. And Lightning Strikes, again, was another album I was going to pick from. So I put the three of them in a playlist. It took me a little bit to come through. So Long Way Home I thought was a lot of really good stuff on there. Hell to Pay is fantastic. And Lightning Strikes, again, really surprised me of how much I liked that album. I hadn't heard it in a long time. So I went with Shadowlife. It was released April 15th. 1997. I have 87 there. 1997 it came out. It's long for a Dokken album. It's 53 minutes and 3 seconds. And it's produced by Kelly Gray. That was a guitar player for a stint in Queensryche and did a lot of shows with them. Did record some albums with them. And the production, I will say the production on this album is, I like the production on this album. I think he did a really good job producing it. But what he was producing is where some of the problems came. In the band at this time, your classic lineup: Don Dokken on vocals, George Lynch guitars, Jeff Pilson bass, and lead vocals on one song, and Wild McBrown on drums here. Starts out with Puppet on a String, heavy bass and guitar start, heavy groove. Don's vocals are actually pretty good in the lower register. The drum fills are really cool. I'm not a fan of the chorus. The shredding part, but like Don is singing during that. I'm like, just like let George fucking play. I just wish there was more shredding from George Lynch. Don didn't shut up during it. Like, I want to fucking hear George Lynch. If George Lynch is playing like that meme, George Lynch is playing guitar, you shut the fuck up. That needed to be like the big sign in the fucking studio for this song. Cracks in the Ground, senseless muffled part to this start of the song. It's weird, a plotting feel to it. There's some layered vocals. The drums are great, but it's a pretty boring song. The solo is melodic but really forgettable. There's an end solo in that it is actually pretty ripping, but it's like it takes you so long to get there. You're just like, dude, it's like just like what the fuck. Sky Beneath My Feet, very mellow start. Don and a clean guitar. It somewhat kicks up for about a minute in, just a boring song. Really good solo at the end though, but the payoff's not worth listening to the whole song at the end. Skip to like the last 45 seconds of the song and you will be good. Until I Know, another plotting one with the acoustic. Remembering once again, it is 1998. Come on guys, I'm like, where's the Tooth and Nail? Where's the Erase the Slates? Perk up fuckers. This is not what I come to Dokken for. Thank God it's a short song, but it's boring as fuck. Hello, this one is a little more up tempo. It's a weird song for Dokken. It's like definitely, I don't know. I would just, it's not Dokken like at all. It's heavy, but it's weird. It's not heavy Dokken that we know and love. It's heavy, weird Dokken, which is not good. Convenience Store Messiah. I mean, what the fuck is this fucking song? Another song, acoustic. There's bongos in this one. I'm like, dude, this... I want to put the song on shock.
They're ripping off Green Day before Green Day did American Idiot's Jesus of Suburbia.
That's great. That's
I
fucking
know.
awesome, though.
That's
If they ripped that off, it would be good. This
Yeah.
is not good at all. This may be probably my least favorite night, or song of that we talked about in this whole fucking episode. It's so terrible. I feel back to some electric guitars, mid-tempo, heavier, more layered vocals, and bass and drums are way out front. I kind of like this one. It's really heavy for the solo. Well, sort of a solo. George Lynch has not been set free on this album. He just is like he's caged. I don't like it. I mean, I want George Lynch fucking ripping the fuck up. Here I Stand. Jeff Pilson takes the lead vocal on this one. More grungy mid-tempo shit. The vocals are okay. Another forgettable song. Weird solo to it. There's a tempo change at the end that picks it up somewhat. I'm like, guys, like, you are just fucking not hitting me here at all. Hard to believe. Back to the slow shit. I mean, like, fuck. I mean, I don't remember music being this shitty in 1998, but looking back at some of this stuff we're talking about, I'm like, this one fucking sucks. Sweet Life, heavy groove to the start, a little more up tempo, but still not great. The groove is okay. I was hoping for a good solo, but no, we're not. I don't know. Did George not show up, or what the fuck? Bitter Regret, more acoustic stuff. Another snoozer. I don't mind a little up tempo. Wow, cool jump start. And even Mick Brown doesn't need, because Mick Brown, you get those cool double bass shit going on with the Wright cymbal shit. You're not fucking getting that here either. Cool solo though from George. Finally, Welcome Back, and it goes right into the next song. There's like, it's one of them songs, just one run into the other. Until I Know, Slight Return. It mellows out some murky guitar and sound on there, but George kills it on this song. Finally, thank you, George, for showing up on the last fucking song. Overall, this album, I'm like, hands down, the worst Dokken album. It's just so, I don't want to say grungy, but I want to say grungy. It's just, it's an album of its time. In that time, I guess I don't fuck very much. The band, I think, was handcuffed. There was not that, that dynamicness, that Erase the Slate, the Kiss of Death, the Tooth and Nail, you know what I mean? Like, there's not even, like, When Heaven Comes Down, there's not even the, Into the Fire. You get nothing of Dokken that you look to Dokken for on this album. It's just, take the handcuffs off of George Lynch. He needs to be released and let Mick Brown rock the fuck out. Just not good. What do you think, BB?
Yeah, this is almost in that same vein of Tesla. Like, if you are a Dokken fan and you know their catalog and you throw this on, just like the Tesla song, the album, what the fuck happened here? There's hardly any glimpse of anything that resembles old Dokken, and maybe it is the sign of the time during this period, and this is what they wanted to release, but I think they struck out with it. Sky Beneath My Feet. This is the soft, whiny vocals are really weird. Not really what Dokken is all about. Even the kick in the song is weak. The solo's a little too long, and it's not really a good solo for George. Hello is another crappy techno industrial Dokken. There's like weird vocal distortion in this one that I didn't like, and Convenience Store Messiah. Acoustic guitar, bongos, maracas just don't add up to the Dokken I want to listen to. But yeah, this album was a tank job for sure.
BC?
Dokken. I mean, Dokken used to be one of these bands until this album that, hey, Dokken's coming out with a new album, grab it. It's good, it's gonna be Dokken. And this album came out, I don't know, like like you guys said, I think it's a victim of the time, but not even, because like grunge came in, but bands are still, like bands of our era were still putting out good albums, and this album just is lacking of anything remotely Dokkenish. You don't got Mick Brown doing his fills. George is not ripping it up. I mean, and it's very mellow, and Dokken is not that. In my book, I go to Dokken not for this. And like BB, I think you just said, take their vocals out of it and play it, and I'd be like, who are these guys? You know what I mean? There's nothing that. There's moments of life, but for the most part, there's no moments of anything good. Like bongos and help me out.
Maracas.
Maracas. I mean, that is.
Morocco's a country.
Oh yeah.
That's not.
Don Morocco.
Don changed his name to Don Morocco for his album because it's in quite a few songs on it. And it's not Dokken. I'm sorry. I mean, still Steve's quotes. I go with the Dokken for, and this is definitely not it. No, this is probably this is the second worst album we're talking about today.
Done.
Yeah, it's really interesting what makes a bad album for a band. And a lot of times it ends up being a band trying to cash in on a trend, trying to be with what's the most popular right now.
With something they're not.
Yes, exactly. And this is definitely one of those cases. Somebody mentioned in the car ride that it's very much like a Seattle coffee shop band at times, especially with the acoustic, like slower ballady stuff that very much feels like. And Dad said the end of Rockstar when Mark Wahlberg's character joins his old band,
His old guitarist.
his old guitarist to make songs. It feels like that. And like I said, the thing that makes me enjoy parts of this album is George Lynch. It's the guitar work. Whenever he is allowed to be himself, that's when the songs come to life. Otherwise, they just feel very dirgy. They feel very. It's like their Carnival of Souls in a way, where there's not as much joy that you get from Dokken. There's a life to Dokken songs that these songs don't have, where there's that upbeatness, that groove that George will bring, or that how Don will sing a song at some point. That it just feels like the 90s filter pushes it down. It causes them to shine a little less. And I think that this is probably a really good textbook case for an album of the time that didn't quite make the grade. So it was a good pick for this episode for sure, because it's very much not a Dokken album. It feels like their side project or something. Like they're trying something different. I don't know.
They were.
Yeah.
All right, so there's our 4 albums. We had Crack a Smile from Poison with BB. We had Shock from Tesla with BC. We had... What'd you have, Dylan?
Shut Up and Jam.
Shut Up and Jam from Ted. I'm sorry, it was so long ago. And we had Dokken Shadowlife for me. I like these episodes. I think they're fun. We always talk about shit that we really like all the time, and it's good to get... It's cathartic.
Yeah.
You could... let out your anger on these bands that you love, and then when they put out shit, you're like, you got to call them out on it.
We're not mad, we're just disappointed.
Yeah. I had a great time doing this one, and we'll go around. We will wrap up, and we'll rank our albums. So let's rank them from your worst album to the best album. Okay. So whatever one you hated the most would be one, and then down the line. So your number 4 would be your favorite album of the night. Mm-hmm. You may not have one, but you got to rank them.
Yeah.
So you got to have a little more hatred for one more than another. If you think your album was the worst album of the night, put it first. Dylan.
This is I always love when we do this because, one, it gets me to listen to albums from bands that I might not have heard. And in this case, I had not heard any of these albums before. So that was fun. In quotes, fun. It was fun to talk about them, for sure. If I had to rank them, it would go number 4, I think, is I'm going to say Poison, Crack a Smile. I think that was the one that I had the most enjoyment from. And the guitar work on it was just phenomenal. That blue guitarist was amazing. Some of the best guitar work I've heard from a Poison album. Number 3, I'm going to go, I think, Tesla, Shock. Again, there's just... I like Def Leppard background vocals. I'll say that's why I ranked it higher. I don't mind Def Leppard. And Tesla is a good enough band that they can pull off a Def Leppard sound. It's not Tesla, but it's not horrible to hear. Dokken with Shadowlife is going to be my number 2 because it just... I've heard, it's a dime a dozen album. I've heard so many of this kind of sounding album that I could replace any band that tried to make it big in the 90s with Dokken, and they would come up with the same result, besides some of the George Lynch guitar parts. And then my number 1 hated album is Ted Nugent's Shut Up and Jam. He did not take his own advice, and that is what sealed the album, as well as Never Stop Believin' Blues. That song fucking sucked. It is horrible. It's a 6-minute song, a 6-minute Ted Nugent song that is not Stranglehold, does not need to see the light of day. I'm sorry. Stranglehold is the only song, maybe Fredbear. Fredbear gets a little long, but
Fredbear's awesome.
Studio-wise, no Ted Nugent songs besides those needs to be fucking almost 7 minutes long. Just my opinion. You can listen to a lot of the songs that we talked about today on our Spotify playlist of the week, though I don't know if you'll want to listen to it this week. Because, since these albums
put the gem song in
aren't
there.
the best. Yeah, we'll put the gem song in there. So there will be at least one song that you will enjoy for sure, but maybe you like these albums. Definitely let us know if you enjoy these albums, or you think maybe one of the artists that we talked about tonight had a worse album. We would love to, because with Aerosmith, I got called out, saying that Music from Another Dimension was worse than Just Push Play.
Well, it's your perspective when you pick your album.
Exactly. And I love hearing other people's perspectives, so definitely let us know in the comments.
All right. BB?
Yeah, this is definitely always a good episode to do because you finally talk about some shit that you actually don't like instead of, everybody wants to sugarcoat everything and make everybody happy, and you're a fan of any of these bands, you cannot possibly like everything that they release. It's just impossible. And just like we said before, people who, I love Kiss and I love everything. Like, you don't love everything. Like, Psycho Circus or Monsters is like a shit show. But like I said, this is always a fun episode to do. And I think we all did pretty good, picking shitty albums. If I had to rank them, I think I would actually pick mine as number 4, because after listening to yours, it was a little bit more enjoyable.
Grass was greener.
Yeah. Number 3 would be Dylan's with Uncle Ted, because Uncle Ted I think the guitar work in that alone just covers it for me. And boy, it's a toss up between you two. It really is. Like it is. Like, I almost wanted you to thumb wrestle for it, but I think I'll go number 2. I think I'll go Dokken, because it just there are glimpses, a little bit of shredding in George in there, and then I think the thing that we were most, at least the 3 of us, that we were most disappointed of waiting for it to come out and then hearing it was the Tesla album, because it's not Tesla. Doesn't sound like it. There's no really good shredding. It's all piano and whiny vocals. So I think for me that was the most disappointing shit show of the night.
Again, another fun time. This takes it back to albums that you probably listened to once or twice and never listened to it again. At least for me. To rank them is going to be very hard. I mean, I'm going to say probably Poison 4. Ted Nugent 3, and the next 2 could be either way. I'm just putting them out there for the biggest disappointment, I guess you would say. I'm going to say Dokken 2, and of course Tesla number 1, because being a Tesla fan since the first album and hearing this, it was like, what the I mean, Dokken, to me was just a victim of the time. I don't know what they're trying to do something they shouldn't, and I don't think any band should try to be something they're not. Just stick to what you know and do it good. That'd be my list.
All right. Yeah, I always have fun with these episodes. It's fun getting in here, and like I said, I was praying BB was gonna pick Crack a Smile because I'm like, I fucking love that album. And when I do my rankings, I go by, when we talk about albums in this context, that how does this album deliver what I'm looking for from this artist? That's kind of what I go for on this one. So for mine, I go to Poison for fun. I don't go to Poison for Every Rose Has Its Thorn and all that shit. I don't. I go for them for fun. I think it's a fun album. I think Blue Serafino brought something different to the band that really, didn't give them a total different direction. And I do kind of agree with BC that this was kind of the Bret Michaels takeover type thing. I do agree with that. It's produced really well. The songs are fun. Even the cover of Rolling Stone's song that I hate, they actually did a decent version of it. So I go with Poison number 4. Number 3 is going to be Ted, because I'm into Ted for the guitar playing. I'm in it for the music. Lyrically, I'm like, whatever. First and foremost for Ted will be music. Next one's going to be Dokken, and I'm only going with Dokken above Tesla because there's a couple glimpses of George Lynch in this album, and I actually don't mind Don's vocals on this one. Tesla, it's just because I was so disappointed when this came out. I was just like, what the fuck? And it's not a bad album. It is just a horrible, horrible Tesla album. If you have a hard rock fan out there and you said, okay, here's 2 albums. Here's the band's first album. Here's the band's last album. I'm going to play Shock for you first. They're going to not want to listen to the next album. They're honestly not going to want to listen to the first album. But if you put Mechanical Resonance on and say, they're going to be like, ooh, shit, this is good. And then you put Shock on, they're going to go, are you serious? Is this the same fucking band? And that's how I
think you
judge
can
it.
say that with all of our bands, though.
Yeah.
I think you could. Like with Dokken especially, for
Dokken.
sure.
Tesla, Dokken.
You can for the most part, but like I think it really stands. I think that the Tesla album is so much different from the other Tesla material, other than the other ones. You know what I mean? I think it's more of a, it's out of their realm more than the other guys' albums are. Now, I'm not saying they're good. Don't get me wrong, except for the Poison one's great. But I love doing this stuff, and it's fun. You guys out there, if you like these albums, let us know which ones you like and why you like them and why you're insane, except for the Poison one. That's really good. But always love doing these ones. What though?
I think it would be fun to have kind of an edict, try and like a challenge to the listeners. Give us 4 of the worst albums from bands that are fantastic for us to maybe cover for the next one. See if any interesting stuff comes up, and maybe that we could use 1 or 2 of them.
We could do a challenge.
Yeah.
We could do a challenge, absolutely. Yeah, and the bands that we've done before we've done obviously tonight Tesla, Dokken, Ted, and Poison. We've done Faster Pussycat. We've done Motley Crue. We've done
Megadeth,
Van
Van
Halen.
Halen.
We've done Van Halen,
Styx, Ozzy Osbourne.
and Ozzy.
Yes.
So they're all the artists that we've done. So, and Twisted Sister.
Twisted Sister.
So give us any bands that we didn't mention there. Give us some ideas for albums that you think suck by whatever band. It could be, I'm not even going to say any names. It could be whoever, as long as it's rock or metal. That's within the purview of the podcast. Let us know, and because I have shows scheduled up until September, and I don't want to do anything same type of episode within a month or 2, but and we could definitely revisit this in the fall, and we could do listeners picks. So let us know something, an album from a band, a popular band that that we would check out and listen to, that album that you think sucks from them, and we'll and what we'll do is if we get four, email us at potterthanhellpodcast@gmail.com or message us on our Facebook page. Don't put it on the Facebook page proper, but send us a message through the messenger on Facebook or email us at potterthanhellpodcast@gmail.com. And because Dylan and I pretty much get into them, so we'll get them, and if we get a bunch, we'll put them into a hat. We'll maybe maybe BB brings a different hat besides. Well, I like Buckeye Society.
Because BB keeps picking good albums from bands.
Yeah, I need help.
He does.
I don't listen to shitty music. That's the
He picked
problem.
Diver Down, and he picked this.
Fuck yeah,
I know. So that's a good idea. I would love to do that. So a little interaction, and if we pick your album to do, we will definitely give you a shout out on there. And if you do pick an album and you send it in, let us know why.
Yeah, give us a reason.
Give us a reason, and we'll go with that. And what we'll do is, I'm not sure how we'll pick. Maybe we'll pick randomly, but maybe we won't. Maybe we'll see how that goes.
Maybe I will, Lois. Maybe I will.
Yeah. So great idea, Dylan. So thanks, guys out there, for listening. We are getting ready to go up to the M3 Festival here in Columbia, Maryland. We are in room 108 at the Hampton Inn in Columbia, Maryland, and we're having a couple beers here.
So if you end up at the Hampton Inn room 108, that was the suite.
We were here.
Yeah. This room's got kind of a funk to it, I think, a little bit. Anyway, just thought I'd say that. But guys, seriously, thank you for listening. We have a blast doing this. I'm glad we're back all together. This is the first in a couple weeks we've been all back together again as well, and always a blast. And thanks again to Mark Anthony K for coming on with us last week, and thanks for all you listeners out there. You guys are awesome, and I hope that I see or run into some of you guys up at M3. And if you do, we'll give you a shout out when we record next week. Guys, we are going to go drink some more beers and maybe get something to eat. Go listen to who we seeing tonight, BC?
Lizzie Borden.
All right. And I can't wait to see fireworks. I want to see what
Fireworks are gonna blow it away, baby.
I think they only get 20 minutes, so they're just
I heard
probably
they're
playing
very
their EP.
explosive.
They're gonna light up the sky.
Yeah. And Dylan had a good point. Like, this is mostly a pavilion, like, undercover.
And it's raining.
Number
It's
2.
gonna rain till at least
so
2
I'm not
days.
sure how fireworks might cancel till maybe Sunday night
There you go.
Maybe.
when it's going to be. It's actually, I don't think.
Maybe look at a longer set. Then.
Yeah.
A longer set spot.
And you know what? It's funny too, because usually when we record, it's shitty out.
Yeah.
And we're recording today, and it's shitty out, so we got a whole shitty weekend going ahead here. So once again,
That was our problem. We
So-
decided to schedule
We record.
I know.
record this
I know.
weekend, and that's what caused the bad
I know.
weather.
She just said no recording.
Yeah,
until
no
we get
recording
it up.
next
Yeah.
year.
it's on us. But as long as the weather's nice for my wife's graduation next week, I
Yeah,
will be
that's more
happy. And
important.
once again, BC, congratulations on your granddaughter. And everybody out there, stay safe. Have a good time. Listen to one album a week all the way through. You will be happy you did it. And thanks for listening.
Maybe not one of these albums.
Maybe not one of these. If it's one of your favorites, go ahead. I would recommend maybe the Poison album. Thanks for listening, guys. We love you out there. Keep sharing us, keep sending us, send us some messages and stuff like that. Like you said, send us an album that you would like us to do that you think is the shittiest album from a band that you love. And the good thing about that is it may be one that one of us loves. So it might even be like, why do you hate this album? So thank you guys out there. You guys are awesome. Stay safe. I was gonna say keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars. It's just like fucking popped into my head.
Okay, Casey.
Take care of yourselves and each other. Take care of yourselves and each other, and when we see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.